going on, Jerome's beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. Again, I say this every time. We're going to try and get better about doing more of these. All right, so thank you, everyone who submitted questions on the community tab. So here we go. Kirk Lair. If Ashton Jeanty falls to 17, 18, 19 range, do you think Kevin adofo-mensah would trade up and get him? I don't see him passing on Steelers, Broncos, or Chargers if he falls. I don't think that they do. All right, and I love Ashton Jeanty. This is a very good running back class. And the Vikings, depending on what happens in free agency, definitely shifts what the needs are, although I'm definitely team BPA. And they're not going to sign a bell cow running back in free agency because there just isn't one. No, Najee Harris is not it. But they could just stick and pick. Since the Vikings are so bereft of draft picks, 1, 3, 5, 5, 7, I don't see them packaging up picks. I mean, last year was the year to package up picks and go get trades and go get all that stuff done, right? But, Jeanty's a special talent. I still think that Caleb Johnson is going to be great. I think Amari Hampton is going to be great in the right scheme. I think Dylan Sampson is going to be fantastic. I think Scadabo in the right circumstances can be really good. So, I don't see them doing that. But also, I don't see Jeanty getting into that range. I don't think he gets by the Bears at 10 or the Cowboys at 12. I should have a graphic, but I don't. So there you go. Next, Sir Pebbles. Do you think Kevin O'Connell and or Viking staff will look at Jayden Daniels' success this season to help McCarthy this offseason? Yes. So what's interesting is that both Daniels and J.J. McCarthy have been using that VR equipment, so just getting mental reps in, and I think that really does help. But in terms of on the field, so J.J. McCarthy, he doesn't have the movement skills of Jayden Daniels, obviously, but he can run. And I think that's something that the Vikings are going to exploit. And it's been a while since the Vikings have had a true mobile quarterback. I mean, Joe Webb for a hot second, but Joe Webb wasn't much of a quarterback either. I still love the pride of UAB, Blazer, right? And I think that Cliff Kingsbury gets a lot of crap, except I think he did some really good things with Jayden Daniels this season, where he molded an offense around his strengths. And some of that I really love too is that things were very easy in terms of reads for Jayden Daniels that time. Now, Jayden Daniels is very good at getting through progression, and he can definitely run an NFL offense, but a lot of things were just either or. So a lot of RPOs, a lot of option looks, and also the thing I love the most is that getting Daniels on the perimeter where he has an option, either a quick dump off to a receiver, hitting him in stride. They did that with Eckler quite a bit this year. Also, I think Akias, whatever the other receiver's name is called. But that's something that the Vikings certainly could do. Because could you imagine, J.J. McCarthy getting to the perimeter, and there's one defender that he could option off of, where the defender, he can outrun him, he just run, right? But if the defender steps up and takes him, he can hit Cam Akers full speed in stride with a full steam of head, as Reggie Miller would say, and just getting downfield, right? So I think that there's a lot of unique things that they can do with J.J. McCarthy's mobility, and a lot of wrinkles where it's not so much that you're just going to run him to death, right? But it's designed to make defensive coordinators think about it, and keep them up late at night game planning, and also use it judiciously. But if you can hit it in the right spot, it can break a game. That's exactly what's going to happen. R-Free. What type of run back do you think Kevin O'Connell would look for? I almost think it has to be this guy with home run potential. I don't know if he keeps running the ball consistently with a 4-yard and a cloud of dust type back. I think it definitely hinges on what happens with the interior offensive line. And the Vikings, the last 3 years have had one of the worst running games in the league. And it's something that Kevin O'Connell knows that he needs to fix. And I think it starts up with interior offensive line. But stylistically, running back-wise, you look at the running backs that they've picked up. They haven't really picked up a true bruising, between the tackles, goal line, short yardage running back, and maybe that's where the blind spot is. But Kevin O'Connell, he likes 3-down backs. He likes shifty running backs, and also guys that can hit the home run. That's why they were enamored with Ty Chandler. That's why they love Cam Akers. That's why they brought in Aaron Jones, even though he's got a little bit of tread left on the tire. But that's why I think that also the running backs generally outside zone type guys. That's why I think Caleb Johnson of Iowa, as well as Dylan Sampson of Tennessee. I think those make a lot of sense here with the Vikings. And they're gonna have to maneuver a little bit because, even though we said earlier, just picking at 24, Caleb Johnson, I wouldn't be mad at it, but it seems like that would leave some value on the table. I think both these guys go early day 2, but the Vikings are either at 24 or they're at 97 in round 3. So the Vikings may have to trade down, maneuver, do some things, but yeah, those two guys would look fantastic in purple. Next, Hadrian asks OG Jerome, what's the maximum number of games out of season? Also, I don't know why Jared has the graphic. Do you foresee before the players revolt and or they increase the 53-man rooster? You say on occasion that it wouldn't be long before we have an 18-week season. Injuries are really hard enough to keep up with. They are going to go to 18 games as soon as it's allowed. I think that the 17-game season was locked in for like 10 years or something like that. But they will have to increase roster size. They may have to add a second bye week. And also, they need to get rid of game day active rosters because I know it's to level the playing field of a team that may have injuries. They can't have that anymore. And also, they should be able to dress as many practice squad players as they want. Effectively, it should be a 60-man roster on game day because it's really ridiculous because there are teams that have injuries and all of a sudden you're playing players out of position and you can't have that. No, it's so stupid. Plus, Week 18, you should be allowed to dress every single player in your sphere. So on the 53 and practice squad, because a lot of teams will be looking to rest players and do a lot of things, and it's really hard to do when you have an active, game day 47. So stupid. But I think 18 games is going to be the be-all, end-all. I don't think that they have the huevos to go 20 and just completely eliminate the preseason. Actually, who knows? Money talks at the end of the day, and players won't revolt because their paychecks will get larger. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Right. Lastly, Neo Cheetahs. Do you worry about defensive back depth, and do you think it's possible to re-sign BZ Murphy, Byron Murphy, and get DJ Reed and Trey Smith and love the content? Get rid of Bradbury? Yes. I think all those things are possible through Christ who strengthens me. So just send out a Hail Mary. I think the Murph being back makes a lot of sense where it's a solid free agent cornerback class, but you know that Byron Murphy Jr. is good here. You know that he meshes well with Flores. Everyone else, you hope, fits in with this defense. Keep Murph here. That's a big step. DJ Reed would be fantastic. I know that you'd have 2 sub-6-foot cornerbacks, and that's not really Flores' bag, but you got 2 dogs, 2 absolute dogs. Plus, I do like Mekhi Blackman as well as Dwight Newton-McLaughlin as a couple young guys rising on up. Also, all in on Trey Smith. And if you can't get Trey Smith, get Mekhi Becton and Kevin Zeitler. Just go from there. It'll be good to go. But that's it. That's at little Q&A on this beautiful day, baby. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.